Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream. Everything is
Welcome to episode 24 of the Hodgepodge podcast. I'm your host, Doug.
And I'm Dirty A. As the name suggests, we'll talk about a hodgepodge of topics from movies, music, TV, and other pop culture events.
And on this episode, we'll be discussing George Clooney's The Monuments Men, as well as the Lego Movie. You can reach us at the Hodgepodge Podcast at gmail.com, or over on our website, thehodgepodgepodcast.com, or over on my review blog, dubreviews.blogspot.com. And we're a little late, maybe a little bit, on these two movies to discuss them, because on our last episode, as our listeners know, we took time out to do a career retrospective of Philip Seymour Hoffman, who recently passed. So we decided to, get back in the swing and be a little, and be a little more lighthearted with our reviews. And
you got to be lighthearted with these movies.
Yeah, one of them at least. So we saw.
I guess it's hard to say both of them.
But we saw two movies recently, and the big release is out right now, until, of course, RoboCop. And
Dead or Alive, you're coming with me.
To the movies.
We should save that for next week. Damn it!
Damn it! Damn it! Anyway, we saw George Clooney's The Monuments Men, and this is a film it's a World War II film. Sort of. And it got pushed back. It was supposed to come out last fall, and the reasoning was that they had to do some special effects shots or something like that.
Okay, I think after seeing it, I think I know more.
And it looks more like the rumors were true, that they were having trouble trying to find the tone for this movie.
Yeah.
And
I'll say that again.
It's the story, basically, because we'll tell the story first, because it's an interesting story. Basically, these guys took on the task of going into Europe. It was a small squad of men, and they were like architects and artists and curators and all that stuff. And their job was to go into Nazi-occupied Europe and hunt down priceless works of art that the Nazis had.
Retrieve the stolen art that the Germans had taken. Right,
that they'd taken and were planning to destroy if the Third Reich fell, which of course it did. So they
what?
Spoilers. Thanks. So they go, and it's a dangerous mission, and they're put in harm's way. The problem
therein is the problem of the movie.
George Clooney and his production partner Grant Heslov, they
by the way, this is a kind of a pet project of Clooney.
Yeah, they
directed, produced.
Yeah, they adapted the book, because the book was The Monuments Men, and it's a true story. I mean, this isn't a novel. This was a true story. Right. It's a great story.
Yeah, which again, that's what makes it very compelling.
Right.
The story itself. It's a very different spin on your World War II, your typical World War II movie, which makes it pretty interesting on the face.
Right. And the movie really is a story of pros and cons, because for every right move that they made on this movie, they made an equally bad move.
Or two equally bad moves. As you can see, I probably liked it a little less than Doug.
Yeah. The sad part is, with this great story, the only real reason to go see it is for the performances. The problem is that because in the movie they break up the team and send them to different places, the story is so scattershot that you can't get it all done in a 2-hour movie.
It's 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there of each character or set of characters, and you don't get enough about any of them to really give
care.
A damn
to really care what's going on.
What really is going on or is going to happen to any of them.
Right. The other problem is that it's a very funny movie. There's a lot of humorous moments in it, but when the time comes when they are in danger, you're like, wait, am I supposed to be
a comedy?
Yeah. So
And that's not to say that you can't do that right.
Right, correct.
But
correct.
they could not find the balance. They could not.
Right.
They kept teetering. And to be honest, there were some funny moments in the movie. For me, I don't think I've probably found them quite as funny as you did.
Right.
Which maybe is part of our little balance of good and bad here. But yeah, the whole tone of the movie is off because literally it goes from 1 second being funny to within a half a second being, deadly serious.
Yeah.
And you haven't even stopped laughing enough or thinking about it enough to get your mind rewired to see something that they put on screen next. And they tried. Clooney tried here to borrow a lot of things from other movies, like from the music, which was the music and even a lot of the tone of the movie was very
1940s.
60s. I'd say 60s movie wise.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can even go back to the 40s. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of a war movie from India, anywhere between the 40s and the 60s.
Right.
They had that style, that tone about it. And then, honestly, for me, he tried to borrow some of the way he did his humor and mixed it with. I likened it to, and when I say liking it, I mean he tried to like Quentin Tarantino in Inglourious Basterds. It did not work at all, but I think that's some of what he was going for.
Maybe. I mean, they tried to make it like almost like a John Wayne, war movie.
Yeah.
Like, let's go get them.
Interesting you say that.
Yeah.
It's John Wayne.
That's right. That's what it felt like. Like they were trying to go for that. The music was really cheesy. It did not fit. Like it was it was almost like music like they used like in Stripes.
Yeah.
Like where it's almost like a taking like a comical take on the music.
Yeah, and it didn't matter, by the way, whether it was one of those serious scenes or not.
Right.
It was the same music
Right.
regardless, except for that, one scene where they play "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas,"
Right.
Which I guess was supposed to tear up the audience. Not for me.
Yeah, it's just kind of a mess, and
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place, and the problem. I was reading, I think it was Owen Gleiberman's review on Entertainment Weekly, and he's like, they should have made this like a heist movie. Like he should have made it more like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
With these guys,
made them go in all
right.
incognitos like spies.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, their hands are kind of also tied by the true story.
Sure.
So my comment after we saw the movie was that they really should have made it a mini-series. Because then you really, really gotten to know all the characters, all the guys. And, I mean, Band of Brothers was a single book. They made multiple different Band of Brothers books, but the original was one book. And HBO made a miniseries out of it. Yeah, and it was a great miniseries. Yep. It was a fantastic miniseries. Of course, that was all very serious. This didn't have a lot of, like, bad violence in it, nothing graphic. So you could have even made this for like network TV.
No, yeah. There was nothing on here that maybe clean up language here and there.
Yeah,
but nothing that couldn't have been done on network. And you make a really good point. Would have worked a lot better as a miniseries, given that they also cleaned up the tone and stuff in the movie.
Right.
And,
and for sure.
I think some of that, like you're trying to reference, would organically fix itself.
Because then you could have like a comedic episode. You could have this, you could have that, and it would really work.
Absolutely. But as a 2-hour feature film,
it was really scattershot. Yeah. The one thing that was really good about the movie was the cast. A fantastic cast. You got Clooney; he's in it. Yeah. Clooney, I liked his character, but they really hit you over the head with how important the mission is, and I believe how it is important. I mean, I know you joked around before we saw. You're like, whoop-de-doo, but it's like
it's an easy thing to mock when you're talking about real lives versus art. But I appreciate the idea as well. But you're right. They
really hit you over the head with it. I mean, he has I would say about 3 variations on the same speech in the movie.
Yeah, it really does.
Matt Damon's in it. Most of his scenes are with Cate Blanchett.
And honestly, kind of a throwaway part. I'm not.
He had an important role in the team, but they really didn't hammer that home. Those are the scenes that kind of dragged.
He has a very pivotal role in how it plays out.
Right.
But yeah, it just you just don't care. For me, and I agree, the cast was great. You got Bill Murray, but for me, shockingly enough, the cast member that stood out for me was Bob Balaban.
Yeah, Bob Balaban's great in this.
He was great. He was the funniest.
Yeah.
He also did a great job being serious.
Mm-hmm.
For me, he was the standout here. But as you say, you have this ensemble cast that's great, and that's what you expect to go in and see them acting together and reacting together. But you don't get that because they immediately split them up, and then don't focus on any of them.
Well, then the other problem that I mentioned is that Jean Dujardin, who was in The Artist, he's in this, and he's really good in this. He teams with John Goodman. John Goodman's great, and Hugh Bonneville is the other guy that's in it.
John Goodman was really good.
Yeah, but like they're about to really go into this and go on their mission, and Jean Dujardin, he has a speech. He goes, we're all in basic and blah 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 blah. You don't see any of that.
No.
You see like brief flashes of them in basic, and then that's it. I mean, you only see it because that's when George Clooney gets there.
Yeah.
And he's like the commander, so it's you don't get to see these guys bond.
You see nothing. It's a 30-second scene.
Yeah, you meet these guys. They're in basic for like a minute, and then all of a sudden they're going off to war.
I'll even take it a little further back. And again, when I say this, given this movie, I don't want to see any more of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lengthen this particular movie.
Right.
But even when Clooney is gathering his team to recruit,
it's a montage.
It's
gotta get a montage.
Montage. He's like. He smiles, winks, hands them a piece of paper, and then they're like, "Yay, let's go to war!" And it's like, what the hell? There's no conversation.
Yeah.
There's no introspective. Do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
It's just like everyone's like, "Yay, let's go!"
Yeah.
And it was just awful.
Yeah. The only one he really talks to at all is Matt Damon.
Yeah, that was it. And then everyone else, all 5 more of them, 4 more. It's just like literally a montage of someone handing them a piece of paper, Clooney saying, "Hey," and they're like, "Yeah, let's go."
I mean, literally, it was like the montage in X-Men First Class when they go and meet all the mutants, and then except they didn't have Hugh Jackman that's going, "Go fuck yourself," So it was, and it was just very. I want to say it was a very stylized movie because he was obviously trying to reach for something, but he just didn't get there.
I think so. I really think he was going for that homage of the older movies.
Of the older World War II movies,
and it just misfired.
Yeah. Whereas people really, what's ingrained in people's minds now is Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this had to be like the blood and guts and gore of Saving Private Ryan.
No,
not
that,
at
that
all.
Is certainly.
But that has an even tone throughout.
It's something to aspire to as far as these kind of movies go.
You never
can go different ways with it. But You're right. The tone of that movie was spot on.
With Saving Private Ryan, you never lost sight of the fact that these guys were in mortal danger every day of their lives, and these guys were too.
Yeah.
Now, when these guys go in, they make it clear that they're like the war is winding down, and but they're still they run into a lot of trouble because the Germans weren't going to just leave and
and the other thing
no
you got to remember when the war's quote unquote winding down. You got to remember that back then, there's no internet, there's no fast path way of information, so. By the time one signs the declaration that the war's over, that doesn't mean that this regiment over here has heard about that.
Right.
Exactly. There's a lot of fighting still going on, even if the war was officially over.
Right.
I think the word for me on this movie is disappointing.
Yeah, because I was really looking forward to this one, and it really was a disappointment. It's a shame because it had a lot of potential. But like I said, I almost feel like Clooney should have done maybe a 3-part series or 4-part series and put on HBO and
would have worked
been
a
done.
lot better.
But
maybe this will find its audience. I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so. But you know what? I got to be honest. When we were in the theater was packed. There were a lot of people there, and everybody that was there really, really seemed to enjoy it.
I guess I was not one of those people.
You can only forgive it for the cast so much, unfortunately. But Monuments Men, you probably want to skip that one.
Yeah,
if you're wait for it to come out on.
If you're going to say the
DVD.
highlight of a movie is the ensemble cast, but then the movie itself doesn't actually highlight that ensemble cast, where else are you going to go?
Right.
Again, the plot of this movie, the idea, the concept, excellent. Execution, pretty poor.
Yeah.
So we don't recommend this one as much as we'd like to.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it was better. I mean, because I was really looking forward to it. But then when they moved it to February, I was just like,
yeah,
ooh,
that was telling.
That was telling because that's where January and February is where the studios dump their crap. Except in the case of our next movie,
that's right.
We saw the Lego Movie.
Little surprise gem.
The Lego Movie was written and directed. There were a couple other writers involved with the story, but written and directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. These are the guys that did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the first one. Yeah. And then they also did 21 Jump Street a couple years ago.
Those are different movies.
Yeah, but both comedies.
Right.
One's a kid's movie based on a kid's book, and 21 Jump Street is 21 Jump Street, not based on anything, even though the name
21
suggests...
Jump Street.
No, it's not based on that either.
Not even close.
Because that was not a comedy. That is also incorrect.
Yeah, not even close.
But 21 Jump Street was a funny movie.
Yeah,
it was really funny.
It was. I'm looking forward to the second one.
The second one comes out this summer. Lego Movie, on its face, you would look at it and say, wow, that is crass commercialism.
That is a bad idea.
Yeah. And this movie was fantastic.
Hilarious.
It is so funny. It is adorable. Kids will love it, and adults are going to love it even more because a lot of the humor is geared towards adults. It's not like kids are not going to get a lot of stuff. Now, there's some stuff like when Charlie Day's going spaceship. You know, kids are going to love that, but adults get more like the Morgan Freeman stuff. When he shows up and he's like, when it's
oh
yeah. The story, if you've seen the trailer, the story focuses on basically a nobody Lego guy named Emmett, and he's played by Chris Pratt from Parks and Recreation. This year, he's probably going to blow up because he's in this. He's still in Parks and
Guardians of the Galaxy.
He will be in Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of the summer for Marvel. And he's like a nobody, and
I think they're already looking at a sequel for that.
They are, yeah. Well, the rest of what the rumor is, yeah. He's a nobody, and he becomes embroiled in this plot of this evil businessman, Lord Business, or President Business, right, as his public face is. He's played by Will Ferrell, and he is trying. President Business is trying to. He's trying to
create a utopia.
Right, he's trying to create a utopia in the Lego universe.
Everything should be done per instructions. Everything should be built per instructions, and you shouldn't innovate or create your own idea of Legos.
Right,
everything needs to be just as it is, and that's the way Lord Business or President Business wants it done.
Right. So Emmett finds the MacGuffin, basically, in the movie, and he is then adopted by this group of what they call master builders. And there's Wildside, who's played by Elizabeth Banks. There's a character you may have heard of. His name is Batman, and he's played by Will Arnett.
So good.
This is a Warner Brothers movie, so they can use all the DC characters. Some other characters show up. We won't spoil it. Some other characters show up that I was very surprised that they showed up because Warner Brothers does not hold the license on those characters. But it was interesting that they showed up.
I think it's a win-win.
Oh yeah. It was a great little cameo. It was hilarious. There's also Morgan Freeman, and he plays. And I can never pronounce this guy's name right. It's like what is his? It's like Versamilitude or something like that. But it's Vitruvian. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Vitruvian, and he plays like the wise old man the prophet, basically, who tells everyone about the prophecy, and he's kind of like the Obi-Wan Kenobi of this movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Charlie Day is in it. He plays 80s something spaceman, also known as Benny.
My favorite growing up. love the spaceman.
And
fish it.
And Allison Brie is in it. She plays Unikitty. And Nick Offerman is the pirate Metalbeard, Captain Metalbeard. We don't want to spoil anything, a lot of the jokes or anything, like we tried not to do with a lot of the comedies. But a friend of ours, we tried to lure her to see this, and she was like, "I don't want to see that. I'm not interested in it. No, it's not."
Her loss.
Her loss, because this movie was hilarious. I laughed the whole way through. It's very clever. It's heartwarming. It's just a really sweet, fun movie. And what's going to end up happening is they'll definitely make a sequel to this, I'm sure. Because, that theater was packed. And there was a ton of people there to see this. And they'll make a sequel. and the next one will probably come out in the summer, I would think.
Are you saying that they are using this as a building block to a franchise?
Oh my god. Yes, they are.
That's punrific.
Yes, that's... Well, we'll see.
Make no mistake about it. This is a kids' movie. This
is a kids' movie.
PG to its core.
Right.
The plot is very simple.
Yeah.
No big character development here. It is a very simple idea of a Lego movie for kids, but the execution is awesome.
Oh my god, it's incredible.
Adults will enjoy it. If you're going to take your kid to a movie, this is the one to do it.
Yeah.
If you're an adult and just want to enjoy a funny movie, go see it because it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's getting fantastic reviews. It's so good.
And it's refreshing to see a movie like this that is a kid's movie through and through to its core that is just funny all around.
Right. I mean, it's like, I mean, honestly,
it's a good movie.
It's like, you know, it's like the old Pixar movies. Now, the difference with the Pixar movies, though, is that they're more original because this is based on the Lego thing, and you know, and it's like I said, you know,
but the story itself is original. I mean, you know,
I mean, if you look at this movie just on its face, you would automatically just be like, oh wow, look at them trying to make a buck. You know, like when they made Battleship.
Right.
You know, I mean. But it's not that at all. It's very clever. The way they use the Legos is clever. They really did think it out. All your favorite Legos that you ever loved as a kid are in this movie.
Not all of them.
Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are. It's just a lot of great sight gags. Just a really, really funny movie. These guys, I didn't see Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
No.
It just really didn't appeal to me. But I did see 21 Jump Street. I'm really looking forward to see what these two guys do again.
22 Jump Street should be.
I don't know.
Did they do it?
I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're involved
they're
in that.
Involved with
Let me. I have to check. I have to check that. But they really hit it out of the park on this one. It's really it's hilarious. It's so good. They are producers. At least I'm looking at Christopher Miller's stuff. He is a producer on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh, I'm sorry. They are doing 22 Jump Street.
Good.
So they're directing that too. So I'm looking forward to it.
Going back again, you know, you referenced you didn't see Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Honestly, the only reason we wanted to see this movie was the nostalgia of, you know, those Legos that we played with, seeing them kind of brought to life on screen. But I'm so glad we did.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Definitely check out the Lego Movie. You won't regret it. I mean, I can't recommend.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and talk about the gags in it, but
we don't
want to give
anything.
it away. Such a great movie like this that was kind of a hidden gem, if you will, for us. I think you know, for kids, it's the obvious choice right now.
Right.
For parents, it's the obvious choice to take your kids to, but. It's a good movie. It's not just like It's not just like this is a movie I can take my kids to.
Right.
It's a movie that everyone will enjoy.
Yeah, it's a good message. You know, it's
the ending of it. I don't want to spoil anything, but the way it kind of resolved itself at the end, very clever, very heartwarming.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Check it out for sure. It's, you know, usually like we said with Monuments Men. You know, usually February and January are like the dumping ground for crap, but this is not it.
No.
They put this out now because they probably didn't want to get crushed by other family movies down the line.
I'm going to go so far, Doug. I'm going to tell the audience, Lego see this movie.
Oh my God. Anyway, it's easily the best movie of the year so far.
We are given that we are a solid 4 or 5 weeks into this year.
It's my number one movie of the year so far.
Are you forgetting I, Frankenstein? Or...
That's a piece of shit. Do not go see I, Frankenstein. I don't care if you are like the biggest gore fest or you like monsters. No, go see Lego Movie instead.
It's well worth your time. It's not a long movie.
It's not.
So, and obviously that's for the enhancement of the kids to enjoy it. They're not going to sit through a long movie. To be honest, I don't want to sit through a 2-hour version.
No, this movie shouldn't be 2 hours.
It's pitch perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's right along the hour and a half mark.
Yeah.
And you know, didn't find myself looking at my watch because I was too busy laughing.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yep.
Great movie. Great pick.
Check this one out. Not so much Monuments Men.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not.
They didn't have enough to build on.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, they didn't. So.
I'm supposed to practice my puns this week.
Yes, that's right. He is supposed to practice his puns this week. Not for my benefit, but that's something else. So yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Short one, but it's because we don't want to give anything away on Lego Movie and Monuments Men.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
We don't want to beat a dead horse. So sorry, George Clooney. We love you, George Clooney, but sorry, this one was not it. If you want to see a George Clooney movie, go rent Ides of March.
The American.
Well, that he didn't direct that. I'm talking about a movie he directed.
He directed.
Yeah, Ides of March. Yeah. Good Night and Good Luck.
Oh,
or
hands down, Good Night, Good Luck.
Or Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. No, he didn't direct that.
He didn't direct that.
He didn't. No, wait.
I don't think he directed that. I think
he did direct that. He didn't write that one.
He didn't write.
He directed it. He did not write it.
I thought he wrote it
because Charlie Kaufman wrote that.
Okay,
Charlie
Kaufman. That's a that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a fucking weird movie too.
Yeah.
It's a great. I mean, Sam Rockwell.
Oh yeah, Sam Rockwell's the best.
But yeah.
So go check out those three. And if you want a more period piece from George Clooney, I would even go say maybe rent Leatherheads instead of seeing Monuments
I never
Men.
saw Leatherheads. So.
Leatherheads, it wasn't the greatest, but it was. I would say
than this.
If memory serves, yes. But it was another kind of like he tried to make another like maybe like His Girl Friday type thing, but it was set in the 20s because it was early days of football.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your reviews for the week. Lego Movie, yes. Monuments Men,
no.
9.
Yeah. Thanks for checking in, folks.
Yep, we'll see you next time.
Real music. Dark, brooding, important, groundbreaking. Check out the lyrics. Darkness. No parents. Continue darkness. More darkness. Get it?